Hello, leaders, and welcome to the weekend edition of Run to Your Leadership Challenges. The weekend edition focuses on leadership challenges that occur both on and off the job. So this week's challenge has been all about leadership reflections, specifically how the actions of your team members are often a direct reflection of your leadership. Today we're closing out the week by talking about one of my favorite leadership reflection topics, and that is the challenge of recognizing or forcing. Specifically, do you recognize the natural gifts and strengths your people have, or are you forcing them to be or do something you want them to be, or what their job description says they need to be? By the way, if you haven't downloaded your free Leadership Reflections Guide, you could still pick it up at runtoyourchallenges.com. Okay, let's talk about the Leadership Reflection Challenge of recognizing or forcing. So, before I begin, I'm going to let you know right up front that some of you may totally disagree with what I'm about to say today. And that's okay. I just want to ask you to open up your mind and think about what I'm saying today. So my 26 years in the military, and basically the nearly 10 years of working before I joined the military and the 5 years since getting out, I've seen this challenge firsthand. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, our society just flat out has it wrong. I mean, think about this. Most companies hire people and then try to get them to fit into a mold that they call a job description. They give the people special training, and even if the training doesn't go all that well, they pump all kinds of additional resources into trying to get the newly hired team member to complete the job exactly the way the job description says it needs to be, or the way we expect them to do it. If our team members cannot do the job adequately that we hire them to do, we expect them to change or to basically learn or make whatever adjustments they need to make to be successful. Well, the problem is that everyone is completely different, and the chances of you actually getting somebody to fit the mold that you've created with your job description is nearly impossible. Instead of utilizing each of our team members' natural skills and strengths, we think we can change them. Now, if you think I'm talking just about work here, man, I'm not. This happens at home too. We try to force our spouses and our kids to fit into the mold that we've created, into the mold that we decided is the way they should be. Well, here's the best advice that I can offer today. Let's stop forcing our team members, family members, and anyone else for that matter to fit into a box that we've created for them. Instead, let's try to recognize their natural abilities, their strengths, their gifts, and let's encourage them to utilize them to their fullest extent possible. Can you imagine actually going to work and doing exactly what you are naturally great at, or what you've always dreamed about doing and have been practicing for years? How about at home? Instead of forcing our wives and husbands to be something that we want them to be, let's just accept them for who they are and love them unconditionally exactly for who they are. And the same thing goes for our kids. That mess that they make when they are 4, man, instead of yelling at them, try to see how they're naturally wired and encourage them to do things they are good at and they like to do. Can you see how this reflection of our leadership has spun out of control? Now, I must agree that this is slowly shifting, but I think we need to continuously fight this challenge and live out our God-given strengths, talents, and gifts. Only then will we begin to know what's possible for all of us to achieve. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this week's challenge of Leadership Reflections, and I hope it made you think a bit about how your team members' actions may be a direct reflection of you, or possibly another leader. And if their actions are a direct reflection of you, are you proud of their actions? Or do you need to make a few adjustments? Hey, I am really excited about next week, as we will dive into a new challenge. We'll be talking all week about the leadership challenge of switching roles. Specifically, we're going to discuss the major changes that we all go through moving up the ladder in our careers. And yet, we often forget what it's like for our people following in our footsteps. I greatly appreciate you for listening, and I hope you have a great weekend. Until Monday, run to your challenges.